What it do? How y'all feeling? Welcome to Ash Neil's Radio. I am your host, Ash Neil. That is I. So we talking to y'all. Yes. Piers Morgan. So he had Matt Walsh on the show to talk about his new documentary, I'm Not a Racist. Why am I racist? Some shit like that. I don't know. Don't let me lie to you. But the funny thing about this exchange was we had two white men trying to figure out why black folks is always screaming racism. What's all the fuss? I don't see it. They don't get it. So we're going to go ahead and unpack this video together. And y'all tell me, am I tripping? Black folks, is he racist?
Vice President Harris has been accused of adopting a fake urban accent to appeal to black and working class voters after delivering the same speech in two different voices just a few hours apart.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave.
Many people making this observation have, of course, been accused of racism, as was former President.
Now, I guess I got to say it. I'm not a Kamala supporter either. I can give two shits about Kamala and her fake accent, right? But I think you're using this fake accent shit to talk about black folks. So I'm here.
President Trump for claiming that Harris only recently started identifying as black. Whether it really matters or not is besides the point. What's striking is the taboo and how difficult it now is to ask questions about race without being promptly branded a racist. Matt Walsh's documentary, What is a Woman?, shone an uncompromising light on gender insanity, and his new movie, Am I a Racist?, turns its glare on diversity, equity, and inclusion.
That's the title. Am I a racist? My nigga, if you gotta ask, then yes, you're a racist. Because racist people, some of them are covert racist, some of them are overt racist, but they know when they're saying something racial. They know it. So if you said something in your past that you had to question, then yes, you're racist.
And he joins me now. Matt, great to have you back on Uncensored.
Hi, Piers. Thanks for having me.
Just want to start before we get into the movie, which is great, by the way, as was the last one. Kamala Harris and her accent.
I love it.
Is it racist to even ask why she's talking in a different accent?
No, I mean, of course not. And look, many Democrat politicians in particular have done this, where they take on a different tone, a different accent, depending on the audience. It's just that with Kamala Harris, we get this really, especially the most recent thing, where it's the exact same lines she's giving a couple of hours apart. And it's just, of course, it's very noticeable. Everybody notices it. And it's insulting to the intelligence of the people that she's trying to pander to. And on top of it, as many have pointed out, you know, the accent she puts on, it sounds like Foghorn Leghorn or something. It doesn't even sound like what she's trying to make it sound like.
Now, that's my thing. I'm not a Kamala fan, but it seems like you guys are using this to attack the black community. And we use accents all the time. We use Southern accents. You know what I'm saying? We use Jamaican accents. A lot of us African Americans that don't have a Jamaican accent or Caribbean accent, we will pretend to have one just for the sake of whatever. But it's funny because when you guys use accents, nobody really says, oh, this is a fake white person trying to sound Southern. I don't know. I think you guys are running out of shit to say about this woman. So you're like reaching. Even though I'm not a supporter, but I think you motherfuckers is reaching. So for you to say it's insulting to your whatever intelligence or the people that talk like that or the people that support her, I don't think they tripping like y'all, personally.
So, because she grew up in Montreal, Canada, and so she should just embrace that fact about herself and be authentic. That's all we're really asking for. Is
but
just
in a way, it's a prime.
Be authentic is what we want.
Right. I mean, in a way, it's a prime example of the kind of thing you talk about in the movie, which is that this sort of weaponizing of calling people racist whenever they raise any issue or question about anything related to race is a real problem.
All right. The weaponizing of calling everything racist. when they bring up stuff that might be racist. He says it's a problem. He did. Piers Morgan called it a problem. So, and this is why black folks is fed up. Because when it came down to this whole Israel-Palestine situation, back in the beginning when they were firing the head of these colleges, there was zero anti-Semitism. None. Not one person that I heard that they were presenting at these hearings that stated anything about anti-Jewish. No, all of it was pro-Palestinian. All of it. Nigga, go back and look. All of it. And for some reason, these soft motherfuckers heard that shit and they came up with all this legislation. All this shit. If you say Zionism, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. Well, how? Like, but somebody calling me the N-word is free speech. But if you say free Palestine, that's anti-Semitic. You motherfuckers is hilarious. That's why we're laughing at y'all. That's why y'all all are weirdos. But you can't sit here and say, oh, they keep calling everything racist when y'all call everything anti-Semitic.
In modern society, it's fueled by social media, by cancel culture, by all of these terribly insidious things which are going on. And what it creates is an atmosphere where people almost dare not talk about anything to do with race.
Don't
the
say
fear
shit.
of immediately being called a racist.
Don't say shit.
Exactly. And that's because you have, and this is what we try to expose in the film, you have these grifters, these so-called anti-racist types, DEI types, and this is their goal. This is what they do. They try to...
Yeah, DEI types. You see how he said that shit? Real fast. DEI types. What's a DEI type? You just got done telling me the title of your fucking documentary. And it was in the form of a question. But when you scream shit like DEI type, how is that not racist? Explain to me how using the term DEI is not racist. You can't.
To make these conversations completely, fraught. They want you to be focused on it all the time. They come to you and they say, oh, you think you're not racist because you think racism is a simple thing. If you don't hate people of other races, you think you're not racist. But actually, you are racist. And the fact that you think you aren't racist is just more evidence that you are even more racist than you thought. And they keep people in, it's like, for people that fall into this, it becomes this like spiral where they're looking into themselves, constantly inspecting their own minds and their own motivations and sort of convincing themselves that they're actually racist when they aren't. And part of that is, again, making the concept of racism way more complicated and abstract than it actually is, because in reality, racism is just having a negative opinion of someone because of their race, thinking a certain race is inferior to yourself. Right. That's racist. If you don't have that feeling about someone, then you're not racist. You might have other flaws, we all do, but you're not racist. Congratulations. You can just move on from that.
And there you go. He said racism is you feeling like somebody's inferior of you. You feel like you're more superior of another race, right? Well, let's unpack the term DEI. What does it mean? Diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? That's their new boogeyman, like I stated in one of my other videos, where, affirmative action was the boogeyman back then. They just didn't want black folks in the public or private sector. They just didn't. So now they're framing it to DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, where some of these companies, we will look at their staffing over the course of X amount of years, and they almost never hired black folks or brown folks. So there was this question like, well, are all black folks unqualified, or are y'all just literally looking past them because they're black? And he knows this. He knows that DEI has nothing to do, because this is how they frame it. They say we just want the best for the job. We don't want to. They don't have to be a woman. They don't have to be black. We just want the best. But oftentimes they will hire a unqualified white person for a job that a black person was qualified for, but they didn't get the job because they were black. And now all these companies that have done changed their tone, and he had some investors, some activist investors that said, hey, your board is a little too whitewashed. We're gonna have to add some color, integrate this a little bit. Now they see all these black folks at these high positions in these firms and shit, and now they're mad. They're mad. So they come up with terms like DEI, like, man, this diversity, equity, and inclusion shit is getting out of hand. Why? Ask yourself. Why are you bothered by seeing black people in higher positions or in any position? I'll tell you, you're racist. Yep.
But they don't want you to move on.
No, exactly right. And also it diminishes people who suffer from genuine racism and their validity of their cause, because there's so much other stuff being thrown out there which just isn't racism. And so actual racism gets kind of lost in the wash. I want to just show viewers who've not obviously seen the movie yet, which is, I can't encourage them to do it enough. It's fantastic. This is a clip from the trailer for it.
Let's be clear what's happening in this country. It's Nazism.
Hold on. Before we watch it, remember, Piers is showing a clip of this movie that he calls amazing. And they have a whole movie that they can pick from, right? Let's pay attention to the clip that Piers Morgan decided to show us after calling this movie amazing.
Republicans are Nazis. You cannot separate yourselves from the bad white people.
Growing up in the 90s, I never thought much about race. Sure, you noticed, but never really seemed to matter that much, at least not to me.
Being a white, straight, cisgender man, it's the top of the...
He said it didn't seem to matter too much. I mean, not to me. Race didn't just matter to me. I didn't even see the big deal. Look at this unbothered white man saying, I don't, what was the hype? What's all the hype about this racist stuff? Bro, you're not black. You won't feel it. Shut up.
Pile.
I'm on the top of the pile. That's me. Am I racist?
I would really appreciate it if you left.
I'm trying to learn. I'm on this journey.
Can you please leave?
Hold on. That's how you want to cut your little... Hey, you got the right to make your trailer as weird as you want to. But it looked like you edited it just to make it seem like that black woman was tripping on your presence. I don't want to watch your fucking movie for the full context. I know how y'all get down. You probably said something stupid, racist, and she kicked your ass out.
If I'm going to sort this out, I need to go deeper undercover. If I want to be an ally, I need to look like one.
You need to look like one. Wait. What do you mean? Hold on. He had a bun and some glass. What do you mean you got to look like one? What do you mean by that? Tell me. I'm going to rewind a little bit. Tell me, what do you mean?
I'm trying to learn. I'm on this journey.
Can you please leave?
If I'm going to sort this out, I need to go deeper undercover. If I want to be an ally, I need to look like one.
What's with the bun? What's with the bun, my guy? I'm not going to go there, but I just want to know, who are you trying to look like?
What is racism?
Martin Luther King said not to judge people by
Martin Luther King said a lot of stuff.
Is America inherently racist?
What the hell is that?
The word inherent is challenging there. America is racist to its bones. All of the...
So inherently.
Yeah.
The entire system has to burn. And I'm not going to even use save this country. This country is not worth saving. This country is a piece of shit.
It's kind of terrifying, you know, and
Terrifying. Look at this motherfucker. The clip they decide to show of this movie. This amazing movie, by the way, that Piers Morgan said. This clip is terrifying because it shows how people really think. And I'm sorry to tell you, Piers and Matt, that's That's how everybody with 2 brain cells think. America is inherently racist. It is. You can pretend that it's not, but it is. The birthing of this fucking country had major atrocities against Native Americans. That wasn't racist. And then once you succeeded, kind of not, but looked like you did, and getting some of these Native Americans out, at least in the 13 colonies on the East Coast, you decide to purchase a whole bunch of black folks and treat them like slaves, even though the same black folks were in France and other places as, indentured service, but became citizens with other, I'm not going to get into the details, but the slavery in America was on a whole nother level. And when we say shit like America was inherently racist, how was that disturbing? How is that a lie? Where's the lie? Where is the lie? You bastards used to put blankets on Native American babies just to watch them die. How was that not racist? Everything y'all did in the beginning of this fucking country up until today is racist.
Borat style. It's great. It's a great idea the way you do this. But as I was watching it reminded me of something that was said by Morgan Freeman many years ago. I think it was a 60 Minutes interview. Let's take a little clip of what he said then.
I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it.
What?
I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
I love the simplicity of that from Morgan Freeman.
I love the simplicity of that. Look at this. We got a black man saying that America is not racist and we need to stop talking about race. In simple form. Just stop talking about it. Now, I respect Morgan Freeman. I'm a fan. But Morgan don't speak for me. Plus, did you ask him how he felt after he had a CNN interview with some white reporter? And after the interview, the ladies tried to accuse him of sexual assault. He's sitting there with 2 other guests with him. They was all in the same movie. I forgot the movie. Don't let me lie to you. But 2 other white men and Morgan Freeman. Morgan answered the question. Next thing you know, there was a lawsuit for sexual harassment. What? But you think Morgan Freeman don't believe that racism played a part? Do you believe that Morgan Freeman think that, that was just a coincidence? She didn't think that black man had a slip of the tongue? Nah. He had 2 other white colleagues. They all was talking. What did he say? I know what he said. He had, who was with him? Somebody said something that was with him. And all Morgan said was, I would sure like to, something. That was enough for her to file for sexual harassment. What happened to the case? That shit went out the fucking window. Why? Because we all know he didn't harass that CNN fucking reporter. But it would have never, ever came up if racism wasn't alive and well in America.
He wasn't saying there isn't racism, but he's saying the way to stop this incessant stuff that you've exposed in your movie is to just stop making it such a big issue all the time.
We have to. Every time it comes up.
Right, exactly. And I also, we thought about that moment from Morgan Freeman when we were making the film. I don't know if you were to ask Morgan Freeman today, would he say the same thing? Exactly. I hope so. I'm not sure.
Ask that nigga today. Ask him today.
And it really is that simple. Now, there are people who could go too far on the other end and say, actually race, it doesn't even exist. It doesn't matter at all. It's completely irrelevant. I mean, it's a real thing. It matters. It's part of who you are. Just like I'm a man, that matters. It's part of who I am. But with race, it doesn't need to be the central focus of every interaction that you have with someone. You can notice, oh, that person's of a different race.
If that's the case, you hear this shit from white folks all the time. Oh, race don't matter. I don't see color. Yada, 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 yada. If that's the case, why do we have an ethnicity box everywhere we apply for shit? If I want to get a job, you want to know my race. If I want to get a home loan, you want to know my race. I have to check this ethnicity box just to get my license, whatever it is that I'm doing in this fucking world. You want to know my race. Why? If race don't matter. I'll tell you why. I know why that fucking box exists. They want to marginalize people. We know that. We want to make sure that back in the days that we knew how many niggas we had on one side of the red line because we wanted to get the numbers right. And then when it's come down to this election fucking year, they always talk about, oh, we're garnishing more black votes. What the fuck are y'all talking about that race isn't that big of a deal to you? Race is huge in this fucking country, and you only use it when, or you're only against it when black folks is crying and screaming for our motherfucking recognition. We have a mayor. What city? Somewhere in Mississippi. Black man. That nigga been the mayor for a long ass time. He was elected, duly elected. He don't get the keys. They will not give him the keys to the building. Why? Hey, don't take my fucking word for it. Ask them. They said we ain't giving this brother the keys. We ain't giving this black dude the keys. Man, hell no. That's not racist. That's not racist. I bet you if we found 250 dead Jewish bodies next to a prison, or we found 250 dead Anglo-Saxons, fuck it, Norwegians, anybody else, if we found 250 of those dead bodies next to a prison, that coverage will be going on for days, months, years, until somebody was held accountable. But we found 250 dead black men in Mississippi next to a prison, and there's no coverage. Zero coverage. You don't even care. That's a mass grave of black folk. I don't even think Piers said anything about it once. So why are we crying? How don't you, Matt, see racism? Nigga, did you know there was 250 fucking dead bodies next to a prison in Mississippi, my nigga? I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't even care to hear about it.
Fine, and then you just move on with your life. And the thing is, when you talk, and we do this in the film, we go and talk to just normal people, both black and white, kind of living their lives a little bit outside of this DEI kind of world. And this is what you find, that it's not a major focus for them. And when you start asking things like, well, is America systemically racist? For these kind of normal people, the question almost doesn't make any sense to them.
Normal people.
And I think that's the mode that most people would be in if these grifter types would allow it, but they won't, because that means less influence and power and money for the grifters.
Well, it's really interesting. It reminds me a little bit of the mental health debate, actually. Maybe that's the subject of your next movie. I don't know, but if not, it could be. Because a lot of people, young people in particular, they're almost encouraged to feel like there's something wrong with them. We live in a very victimhood-led society now, where it's almost a badge of honor to have something wrong with you. So people start to look for that. And I was thinking of that as I watched your movie. Different issue, but similar kind of mentality, watching these people who were just so desperate to see racism. And what struck me was quite sort of ironic was...
I don't think we're desperate to see racism. I think when racism comes to us, we're not allowed to call it out. I think that's what it is. I think you guys want brothers and sisters to sit back and allow the new neo-Nazi crew to come around town harassing black folks in Tennessee. I think you guys are okay with the little black babies being called a nigger as they cross in the street in Tennessee. I think you're okay with that because when black folks say, hey, we need to stop this shit, why can't we do nothing about these motherfuckers coming up here calling brothers and niggers and monkeys and shit? Why can't we? Oh, freedom of speech. Oh, you're race baited. What racism? What are you talking about?
A lot of them seem to be white, unless I was mistaking things. It didn't seem that diverse, equal, or inclusive in the actual group set up to do all this.
Yeah, there's no question that, and we noticed this making the film, that and many people have noted it sort of anecdotally, that there's a lot of white women who seem to be driving this. Now, it's not all white women. There's also black women and men too, but it does seem like white liberal women are overrepresented in this thing. And a lot of this stuff is targeting white liberal women in particular. Race to Dinner, you saw in the trailer, where you've got these two, Saira Rao and Regina Jackson. They go to dinner and you pay them thousands of dollars and they just sit at your dinner table and call you racist for 2 hours. People pay for this. And that is specifically for white women. White women are the only people invited to take part in that. And so a lot of it is really like targeting that demographic in a really interesting and kind of disturbing way.
And some of the stuff they were saying, Republicans are Nazis. You cannot separate yourself from the bad white people. White people feel frightened of black people every 10 seconds. Whiteness robs you of your brain. The entire...
That's true. Y'all feel frightened of black folks every 10 seconds. Tell me that's not true. Come on. Tell me y'all don't got some fear in y'all when y'all see black folks. Come on, Piers. Every 10 seconds. Back in the day when the Karen-demic happened and people was getting these phone calls left and right to the police department about black folks doing normal shit. It was always that same spiel, that same reason why they're calling the police. It was all about fear. They were scared. All these black folks, they're barbecuing. All these black folks, this black girl selling water. This can't be right. It was fear, bro. Every time a brother get killed by a cop, an unarmed black dude get killed by a cop. Oh, I thought he had a gun. My life was threatened. I feared for my life. It's fear. You white folks are afraid. Every 10 seconds, like they said. We don't know why. This is early. I remember growing up and the whole stigma about white women walking down the street. And then a black dude coming the same way. She got to grab her purse and walk across the street. That was out of fear, you scary son of a bitch. Where's the lie? Where's the lie?
A system has to burn. This country is not saving. I mean, it was scary to listen to that stuff.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? It should be safe to say that you disagree with everything that was said. But if you disagree with everything that was said, how the fuck can you turn around and say, oh, that shit was scary? Why are y'all so scared? You white folks need to be studied. You do. I said it. So what? Something in you needs to be studied. Why are you so scared of every fucking thing? And like I said in one of my videos, this is just something that I preach all the time when it comes down to quantum physics. People don't understand what their molecular machines are about. Your molecular machines could do things that you didn't even want it to do. It's just going to react in defense for self-preservation, right? If you get something in your eye, your eye's going to close, right? It's like, you didn't close your fucking eye, because if you tried to open it back up, it'll swell up on you, right? You got something in it, something foreign. Your body don't even know what it is yet. They got to make an actual copy, a replica of what the fuck this foreign object is. And until then, your body, not you, but your molecular machines is going to start filling your eyes up with water, fluids, just to try to get this foreign object out of his eye. If that don't work, guess what? They will shut the eye completely. Boom, nigga, done, gone. swelled up for days. We're trying to figure out what this is. If it get that bad and it start infecting body, the eye gotta go. It would do whatever it takes to self-preserve. The body will. And that's just simple quantum. So we don't know what happens to white folks' molecular machine when they come in contact with someone of higher carbon levels. We don't know if their molecular machines go out of whack and start defending itself, thinking that this melanin being is out to get them. We probably don't know. But something need to be studied. Because y'all bitches is too scary. And I remember growing up, somebody always said, a scared driver is worse than a bad driver. And you scary motherfuckers need to give up the steering wheel. I swear to God.
It's scary when you think that these people, actually do have power. And the other thing too, the other part of this is that they want to make it so that there's no way out, right? Because they tell you, if you're a white person, they tell you, well, you're racist automatically. And then once they have you, and maybe you say, okay, well, I don't want to be racist anymore, and they give you a whole bunch of things to do.
I don't want to be racist.
But then at the end of it, they say, oh, well, by the way, you're still racist. You could never not be racist. That's another thing we discovered making the film. When you ask these people, like, at what point can I be not racist anymore? What do I have to do to not be racist? And what they'll tell you is, well, you could be like a little bit less racist, but you can never not be. You're always going to be racist because you're white, and whiteness is inherently racist. That's what they believe. So it's this like hopeless doom spiral that they put you in. The only way to avoid it is just to ignore these people entirely. Which
I mean, did you work out what DEI really is at its core?
Did you?
Well, it's left-wing racial ideology, and this is its latest manifestation. When DEI goes away, because it's being it has a negative connotation, that term, to most people now, which is good. But the people pushing it aren't going to stop.
You hear that? It has a negative connotation for people, which is good. Why? Why is it good? Why do you want people to hear bad things when they hear DEI? Why? That means that you already have the framework to not have black folks in working. You don't want them working. So, yeah, you're showing how racist you are, Matt. Sorry.
Stop. They're going to repackage it. Left-wing racial ideology. And that is really simple. It really is just the belief that whiteness is inherently evil, inherently racist. It's the cause of all of society's ills. And they're the oppressors. Everyone else is the oppressed. And that's the basic core idea of this thing, and everything just kind of recycles and revolves around that basic core idea.
See, and he can't even explain it. And he's not wrong. Think about it. He said that, well, yeah, we kind of unpack DEI. We know what it is. It's these motherfuckers saying that America is systematically racist. All white folks are oppressors. Black folks and brown folks are the oppressed. Yada, 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 yada. Well, you tell me, Matt. You don't want black folks working. No. Let me get this. Forgive me, y'all. I get it. Trump told us what our black jobs was. So, yeah, when you hear DEI, we're talking about people in higher positions of power. And they're talking like, city representatives, mayors, governors. This is what they're talking about. Why are we letting black folks in these positions? Hell, they don't even want black pilots. Pilots. They don't want them flying the plane. They don't want them doing nothing but what Trump said that we were supposed to be doing. And I don't think you guys get it. You really don't get it, Matt. You don't understand how that's racist to say that, DEI being negative is a good thing. And it sucks because all you guys are doing, just like on your show, or what the clip that you showed us, was, you was trying to make this, I guess, claim that you came in just to talk. Just to say, oh, I just want to understand if I'm racist, how can I change it? And this black woman kicked you out. Nigga, stop it. We get it. We get what you're doing. You're trying to say, oh, look, even on my fucking documentary, these black folks can't control themselves. Angry black woman, all over again. You know what I mean? And we sit here and we laugh at it. We like, I get you, bro. You flailing like a fish out of water. It's like, oh, man, now we got to fucking find something to stick. You're going to use every negative stereotype for a whole documentary and then ask everybody, well, how am I racist? How can I not be racist? You tell me, Matt. Let me ask you something. I'll ask you a question. Just real quick. I'm sorry. You might think I'm racist when I say this, but I'm not. I just got a question because since we get to use all the negative stereotypes of a group and, make it, the whole, right? That's indicative of everybody in that group, all this negative shit, right? So I want to ask you, Matt, because I know you got kids, right, Matt? Do you got kids, Matt? Do you, Matt? I just want to know. Now, I don't know because I ain't did no research on you, nor do I care. But do you have a sister? Do you have a sister, Matt? Do you? Yes? No? You can tell me. I don't know. I'll do some research later. But what if I said, hey, Matt, how many of those kids you had with your sister? How would you feel? How would you feel? Honestly. How would you feel if I seen you, I don't care, you gun enthusiast probably, right? You're a gun enthusiast. You like guns, Matt. Don't you like guns, Matt? I think you like guns. Have you ever taken your kids to the gun range, Matt? Have you? I don't know. Like I said, I don't study you. But if I seen you and your kids at a gun range, right? Would it be racist of me to say, are you training a school shooter? What is this little boy doing, Matt? This little girl, what do you got planned? Is that being racist, or is that pointing out just a negative stereotype of white folks and hitting you with it? You tell me, because it sounds like you don't understand what racism is. That's why you keep coming up with these whole. I bet you I wonder what a day of Matt Walsh look like. I bet you walking around saying shit, getting cussed out for it. You like, what did I say? Niggas ready to whip your ass. And I think it's amazing that you don't know what racism is. So if you do want to have a conversation about it, I'd love to have a conversation with you, bro. Just, you can't be scared. Because y'all bitches are scared of everything. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel where I bring you content like this, plus more. But if you don't want to miss a moment, they say you got to hit that little notification bell. All right? I love y'all. I'm out of here. Peace. Yeah.